Just everything about him presents a challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he does not want to lose this fight. This is the
No.
biggest fight for sure. That's why he's really motivated. He got in with Cunningham as his trainer because he wants to be the best that he can be. So I think it'll be an opportunity for me to show everybody that I can make a great fight and I can overcome those challenges, those height, those reach,
Sure.
challenges. Every fight is different.
He is the favorite to beat Robert Easter. So let's not even, front. I gotta be honest with you. Um, I don't like all the name dropping that Mikey Garcia does in regards to, fighting Errol Spence, fighting this guy, fighting that guy. The big super fight for him that fans want to see is him versus Vasil Lomachenko. But understand that Vasil Lomachenko is ESPN. They're not letting him go. Mikey Garcia, if he wins, he'll be the WBC and IBF champion if he wins. Now, a part of me, like I said, or like I was going to say earlier, is, I'm hoping that Robert Easter shows up. He is a good trainer. I've covered his last several fights here on YouTube and been watching him for a long time. A lot of people don't understand, probably because they don't know what it means, but they don't understand when I say that him and Adrian Broner have similar mannerisms. If you see them two both together, what are they doing? Chewing gum, looking away, smiling and shit. That's their shit. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but what I'm saying is, you can tell that they grew up together, right? But one thing I hope, and it's looking like it, is that Robert Easter wants to take his career more seriously. He's not, as marketable as Adrian Broner because Adrian Broner has a lot of shit with him, antics, good or bad. But one thing for sure is if he were to beat Mikey Garcia, then obviously he'll probably be likely fighter of the year or upset of the year because that's how big Mikey Garcia's name is. They're talking about Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. He talked about it, fight Errol Spence at the end of the year. Him moving up to 147, I don't see it. I don't see it. Also, this jumping around divisions, it's like, like it's hard to gauge what he's going to do next. The super fight for him is him versus Lomachenko. Lomachenko obviously is over on ESPN, Bob Arum. ESPN is not letting him go. You're going to have Ray Beltran versus Jose Pedraza for the WBO belt. And then you have Lomachenko right here who has that WBA that he got from Jorge Linares. Jorge Linares is going to be returning in December. We don't know against who, likely against one of these guys. In my personal opinion, I don't see Mikey Garcia versus Lomachenko happening. But it's still a possibility because Mikey Garcia, in my opinion, his cap would probably be 140. But the 140 division is technically tied up with the World Boxing Super Series. So he would likely leapfrog that and go fight at 147. But honestly, and I understand Mikey Garcia has a lot of fans and a lot of supporters and everything, but with what he's done, let's go look at it. 38-0 with 30 KOs. Looking at these wins, he hasn't been in a situation where he wasn't the favorite to win or, look, and he's talking about moving to 140. Zakatanakin? Zakatanakin? I forgot how to pronounce his name. Zakatakanin. Broner, we knew he was going to beat Broner. Sergey Limpinets, that people say that was a cherry pick, belt. He won it, then dropped it. And now Robert Easter, and you think he can beat Errol Spence? You're tripping. Or tripping. Robert Easter has to use his height. He has to fight tall. He's not the most skilled of fighters, but if he works toward his strengths, meaning fighting tall and boxing and using the jab instead of smothering his punches, like he was doing with a guy like Javier Fortuna, and then technically these last 4 fights were tough for him. Javier Fortuna, the Shafakal fight, Luis Cruz, Richie Comey, he's got to stop smothering his punches. I'm trying to figure out a way he can beat Mikey Garcia. He's 5'6". Mikey Garcia is about 5 foot. No, Mikey Garcia is about 5'6", 5'7". Robert Easter is listed at about 5'11". He is. I've been in a room with both of these guys. They're really legitimately that height. And right now, it's not really a fight that's really calling me. It's about the glamour of the unification. Yes, unifications are good. Yes, I want to see, one champion in each division. But you got, Mikey Garcia talking about moving up to 147, and it's like, yo, bro, y'all got to do something with Lomachenko. He says he's a free agent. Right? And he says he wants to fight Lomachenko, but y'all got to get a deal done. I'm not saying that Mikey Garcia has to go to ESPN. I'm not saying Lomachenko has to go to Showtime. But some shit's got to be done, because this is not a situation where they're going to order a purse bid. And Yvonne Mendy versus Luke Campbell could very well be the co-feature or the undercard. It can be the undercard for Joshua versus Povetkin, and this will be for the mandatory for the winner of Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter. So looking at it right now, he can talk all he wants, but until he takes a real test, I'm looking at him taking the Mayweather path to like greatness, and not necessarily patent his record, because the names that he's fighting are good names, but there's been better names, and there's still better names available. So if he wants to go, let's say for example, this is what I see him doing, right? If he beats Robert Easter, he'll fight at the end of the year or so, probably defend. Well, he's going to have an IBF mandatory, so that's going to be coming up. Whoever his IBF mandatory is, that's coming up. Could it be Richard Comey again? Who is he going to be ordered to fight? So he's either going to fight, his IBF mandatory, probably, maybe take a fight at 147 just to test the waters, but against who? It ain't going to be Errol Spence first. I don't think so. I would really like to see him against Omar Figueroa, but Omar Figueroa, he keep pulling out of fights. He was going to fight Adrian Broner. So with the way things are looking, let's say if Mikey Garcia stays at 135, right? He's got that IBF mandatory coming up. Then this fight would have to happen sometime in the spring, no later than the spring of 2019. And I doubt that he'll touch 140. He'll probably leapfrog that, because it'll look stupid for him to have won a belt at 140, then drop the belt, then go back to 140 to fight for a title again. So technically, it's either stay at 135 or go to 147. Also, Eddie Hearn has been really trying to get him on that platform, The Zone, but I don't see that happening. Showtime, they are investing too much into Mikey Garcia. I'll be shocked if Mikey Garcia goes over there to Eddie Hearn. It's too, he's too dug in. He'll tell you he's not signed or anything, but then again, a lot of fighters aren't exactly signed to Showtime, but they're Showtime fighters. A lot of boxing fans don't understand that concept and what that means. So I'm going to be covering the fight. Shout out to my homie Rob over in LA, who got a whole bunch of footage that I got to upload before the end of this week. Also, we're going to be covering the fight live, and we're likely going to be doing a live stream for the weigh-in on Friday. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.